Eegah! Do the Eegah twist! Eegah welcomes you to the Loft Cinema. My name is Jim, the program director here at the Loft Cinema, the beautiful, empty Loft Cinema. Tonight, we are going to unleash caveman catastrophe. This is perhaps the greatest teenage caveman rock and roll monster musical ever made. Eegah from 1962. So today, because of the coronavirus pandemic, we are showing Eegah here in an empty theater, but we're gonna make it fun. My pal came from the cave here, a relative, as you'll see in the film, and we're still showing great movies, or as in the case of tonight's film, not so great movies, and yet I love it. So this movie follows a lonely caveman in Palm Springs who falls for a girl with huge hair while her boyfriend drives around in a dune buggy and sings rock and roll songs. Cut, print, sell a ticket, it's a hit. Love it. This movie is bad movie bliss. It's primitive perfection, I would say. This was directed by Arch Hall Sr., who was the director and writer and producer of many, many films we love here at the Loft Cinema, including, but not limited to, Wild Guitar and The Corpse Grinders, which makes me hungry just thinking about it. Now, Arch Hall Sr. actually directed Eegah under a pseudonym, Nicholas Merriweather. He also stars in the film under a different pseudonym, William Waters. So clearly this is a man who is very proud of his work in Eegah. 2 fake names, 2 different jobs. He plays Mr. Miller, the adventure writer who taught us all to watch out for snakes. Now, if you haven't seen Eegah before and you don't know what watching out for snakes really implies, hold on, you'll find out. It will influence your life for the better. So in the early 1960s, Arch Hall Sr.'s mission in life was to turn his uniquely talented son, Arch Hall Jr., into the next Elvis Presley. Oh, my beard's falling. Eegah beard, not so secure. Turning his son into the next Elvis Presley. Now, we know that Elvis Presley was great. I love the king. I love the king. Elvis Presley made a lot of bad movies. Just try watching Clambake or Kissin' Cousins one more time and tell me that he didn't. So even Elvis never made a movie like Eegah. So because this was designed as an Elvis Presley movie for Arch Hall Jr. to rocket him to stardom, we get lots of romance, action, we get some bad comedy, we get some piles of greasy hair, and of course we get rock and roll tunage. So basically this is exactly like an Elvis Presley film, only with the addition of a rampaging, love-struck caveman. So Arch Hall Jr., as the writers of Mystery Science Theater 3000 dubbed him, Cabbage Patch Elvis, was, as I mentioned, a unique performer. And here he plays Tom, the rock and roll and drag dragon dune buggy racer. And he appears to be having fun, I will say, in this film. And that's important. Keep in mind, Arch Hall Jr. was a teenager when he made this. He was 19 years old, so he was still finding himself. He, however, had a very short-lived career. I think he realized, and his dad realized, that maybe his talents lay in other directions. So his career lasted for 5 years until 1965, at which point he retired from acting and became an airline pilot, which is totally fine. And he does get to warble a few songs that he wrote himself. So please enjoy that if you can, if your ears can take it. Ultimately, though, he proved to be no Elvis Presley. So don't get your undies in a twist. You're not going to get all excited, Elvis excited. Also in this film, we have Marilyn Manning, who plays Eegah's beautiful and talented love interest, Roxy. She of the giant hair. Now, as an actress, Marilyn Manning had a lot of hair. She also has a unique talent, and it's on full display in Eegah. She also had a short-lived career, much like her co-star, Arch Hall Jr. So she retired from acting a couple of years after this, and she and Arch Hall Jr. did go on to make one more film the next year called The Sadist, which might describe the filmmakers and the way they inflicted the pain on the audience. So that makes these two the Bogey and Bacall of 1962 bad drive-in movies. And then they both went their separate ways, and that's fine too. But of course, the real star of Eegah is our old pal, Richard Kiel. 7 feet 2 inches of prehistoric man meat named Eegah. And this is the perfect role for Richard Kiel. This is perhaps one of his greatest roles. He has major charisma. This was his first starring role. Legend has it that Arch Hall Sr. discovered Richard Kiel when he was working as a bouncer in a country bar. And I don't know what Arch Hall Sr. was doing in this country bar in 1962, but he saw Richard Kiel, all 7 feet 2 inches of him, and said, "You, sir, are the caveman of my dreams." But first he pitched a Mechanable movie. Richard Kiel said, "No." Then he said, "Well, how about a caveman movie?" Richard Kiel said, "Yes." Eegah was born. So Richard Kiel, of course, went on to star in many great genre films that we love here at the Loft, including Las Vegas Hillbillies, The Human Duplicators, and Cannonball Run 2, shot right here in Tucson, Arizona. But of course, he became most famous for starring as the metal-mouthed monster Jaws in the 007 films, The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker. And as I said, Richard Kiel has some major charisma. This movie should have made him a sex symbol. It didn't. If you don't believe me, watch the ultra gross but kind of erotic shaving sequence in Eegah, and you'll know what I mean. We'll get to that in a moment. So finally, if you love Palm Springs, California, and who doesn't, you will enjoy Eegah greatly because it was shot outside of Palm Springs, inside Palm Springs, probably underneath Palm Springs. And those of you who watch a lot of bad movies and have a very sharp eye will notice that Eegah's cave was actually a very famous movie location that appeared in many, many, many bad movies. It's in Bronson Canyon in Griffith Park in Los Angeles. It was the home of Robot Monster, They Saved Hitler's Brain, and it's probably most famous for appearing as the entrance to the Batcave on the 1960s Batman TV show. It's iconic, it's great, and Eegah really kept their tradition going of only the worst films being shot in Bronson Canyon. So Strangely, this movie was a huge hit at drive-ins, meaning teenagers in 1962 had a very twisted sense of humor, but it was huge. It made back its $8.37 budget immediately. Richard Kiel and Archibald Jr. traveled around to drive-ins. They performed music with the movie. Richard Kiel came out in his caveman costume and scared people. That's a real performer. That's why he was great. Like, he went the extra mile. So this movie lives on in infamy on Mystery Science Theater. Elvira loved it. Everybody loves Eegah. It's a fantastic bad movie. This is, of course, the very best bad film about a lovesick caveman who's subjected to bad rock and roll music that has ever been attempted by the motion picture industry. And so now I think we need to actually get into Eegah. And so we're going to go find our seats back in the middle of the theater. I can take my pick. There's nobody else here except this guy, and he always sits in the front. I don't know why. So let's go. Let's go back to our seats. Now, we're going to watch Eegah. Please note that we are going to be projecting Eegah on our big 50-foot screen here at the Loft Cinema, so you can watch the film just as you would if you were actually here with me here at the Loft Cinema. Of course, if you'd prefer to watch it on YouTube, there is a link for that. You can watch it on your computer while also chatting with us. So let's go this way, shall we? Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present Eegah! And please stick around and watch the movie here on the screen because we're going to do some stuff during the film too. Just FYI. Could you just use this for a second? When I start blowing some of this. It's interactive cinema. And doesn't his family look great? They give some of the best performances in Eegah. But stick around. You'll find out for sure. I enjoyed this guy's role in Tales from the Crypt greatly. He was quite good. Smoking kills, everybody. These people are dead, so don't smoke. Focus! Pink flowers and gravestones, the most terrifying combination ever in a film. Be prepared to be scared. feeling young, feeling fresh, feeling free.
Hi, Roxy. What are you doing in town? Thought I was supposed to meet you up at the club.
Well, you still are. I just bought myself a new swimming suit tonight.
Oh?
Yes. See?
That? Well, I get off work in 10 minutes.
Follow me out then.
Follow you? Listen, I can change clothes and beat you out there. That's my girl. Her father's Robert I. Miller. Writes all those adventure books. You ought to see her swim. Hey!
Gee, I sure am sorry, sir.
I guess I was thinking about having dinner with my girl. She lives up at the club.
How will you make it on your own?
Roxy, it's me, Tom.
Oh, Tommy! Oh,
What's the matter? What happened?
oh, is he gone?
Who?
Is he?
I didn't see anybody. Just take it easy and tell me what happened.
I saw a giant.
What?
Well, I did. Honest, I saw a giant. No, it was right in the middle of the road. Not a half mile from here. He doesn't believe me.
You didn't really expect anyone to, did you, Miss Miller?
Why not? It's the truth.
Honey, a prehistoric monster is a rather large order to swallow.
Dad, I didn't say he was a monster. He was a giant. You know, a caveman.
Club and all, eh?
Yes.
What my daughter saw, she saw. Now, let's just let it go at that.
Okay. But if you see her giant again,
I've always
let
loved
me know
William
in time
Hickey in
to
every
take
film.
some pictures.
She will.
Dad, you don't believe me either.
Roxy, of course I believe you. I believe you saw something.
Well, I saw a giant. A prehistoric giant.
How about it, Tom? What'd you see?
Like I told you, Mr. Miller, I wasn't there until afterwards.
Tommy Nelson, I know what I saw.
Sure, Roxy, but I mean giants.
They were giants. The Bible says so.
Yes, it does. In the book of Genesis. Something about in those days, giants walked the earth.
Well then,
Maybe we can get some flashlights and go out and take a look for ourselves.
No, this thing can wait until morning. Now, you kids go and take your swim before the pool closes.
in the morning now.
It's a promise.
Dad still doesn't believe me.
Sure he does.
And neither do you.
I swear on my Elvis Presley LP. How big did you say he was?
Oh, bigger than anybody you ever saw.
I bet you were scared, huh?
A little. But I had the funniest feeling he wouldn't hurt me.
Yeah?
In fact, I thought it was kind of cute.
Oh.
The magic of anything?
No.
Now, let's be realistic about this. You said yourself that you fainted. Isn't it possible that you dreamed this whole idea?
No, Dad, I didn't. There was a giant.
Now, I don't want to call this story of yours a lot of foolishness, and I haven't so far, have I?
No.
But if there were a giant, if anyone at all had
Mr. Miller,
been here,
come here.
what'd you find?
I don't know. It sure looks like a footprint, though.
Let me see. Yeah, look, there's the heel, and there's the toes.
Look at the size of that. It must have been made by
Say it.
a giant.
What did I tell you? If that's for finding it.
I'll find the big boy himself for it if you feel like that.
He left the road right here. Watch out for snakes.
Oh!
Watch out for snakes! Watch out for snakes! Ah!
Better go back to town.
No! He's my giant.
Holy cow, he was standing right here watching us. Then he turned and took off for...
Shadow Mountain. Do you suppose that's where he lives?
It's possible. That would account for his never having been seen before.
It's too bad we didn't bring the dune buggy to go after him.
What for?
To get some pictures, maybe even to bring him back. A lot of people aren't going to believe this giant jazz.
No, we're not sending about this, you understand?
Why not? After the way everyone laughed at me.
Your turn will come. I'm going up on Shadow Mountain with a camera.
Are you going to write a book about the giant, Mr. Miller?
That's the idea, Tom.
I'll take you up there. My dune buggy's all ready to go.
No thanks.
It is. I just gave it the works.
There's no offense, son. But I'd like to take this trip in something a little bit safer.
I'll see you in about 2 days at the most.
Well, please take care of yourself.
Now, my credit cards are in the desk drawer. You make sure you leave them there.
This thing's supposed to be safer than my dune buggy?
All right, Kruger, let's go.
MASH totally ripped this movie off.
Now, don't you forget, I want you to meet me at the mouth of Deep Canyon tomorrow at 4.
Watch out for snakes!
No! Oh, no. No! No!
Cover your ears if you must.
I love you, Vicky. You know I do. My whole life is changed. Oh, the first day we met was my last day with you. Vicky. Oh, Vicky.
Does he remember that her name is Roxy? Why is she putting up with this?
What have I done? Why can't we make up? We can have so much fun. If you don't love me, I was a fool. Oh, Vicky.
Vicky, oh Vicky, I'm so alone. If you could just talk to me, if I could just call you on the phone, would you give one more chance to a fool? Oh, Vicky, you are my love. You are my love. Vicky, you are
There's another girl thinks you're the giant.
Hello, Roxanne. Hello, Agnes.
Have you seen any giants today, Roxy?
Not today, Mr. Buggy.
Boy, have they got some news coming to them.
Oh, I don't care anything about them. I just hope Dad gets back all right.
He said he wasn't even going to try to get close to the giant. Just to find out where he lived, that's all.
Well, I hope that's all he does. But you know my dad.
Yeah, just like you. Telephone, Miss Miller. Take it over there.
Thank you.
You got some other guy on the string, huh?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Was that call from a man or a woman?
I really couldn't say, sir.
Hello? Dad'll understand. Just a minute, please. Do you know where Deep Canyon is?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure. I've been there lots of times. Why?
Don't worry, Mr. Kruger. I'll take care of it. Yes. Thanks for calling. Goodbye.
What's up?
That was Mr. Kruger from the airport. The helicopter blew a gasket or something. He won't be able to pick Dad up.
At Deep Canyon?
Yes.
No problem. We'll get the dune buggy and we'll whiz right out there.
This is whizzing?
Wait till we get off the highway.
Hold on to your depends. This is whizzing.
I'm your daughter, Mel. There's no run here. That's what the buggy was made for. My tires are filled with water.
You getting cold?
No, the weight gives me traction in the sand. Watch this.
There you are, Deep Canyon.
I don't see Dad anyplace.
Maybe we're early.
It's past 4:30.
Hey, take it easy on that water.
Well, I don't want it to dry out before Dad gets here. And don't you eat anymore.
Okay.
It's 9 o'clock. What do you suppose happened?
Oh, nothing happened. He's not coming on a bus, you know. Can't expect him to be right on the dot.
I know, but he should have made it before dark.
Don't worry about it. He'll see the campfire and come walking in on us any minute now.
That's what you said 2 hours ago.
Well, he will.
Well, if you believe that, what's the idea of the bedrolls?
Look, I carry all this junk in the buggy anyway, so you might as well get some use out of it.
I'm not sleepy.
So just lie down, take a rest for a while. I'll keep the fire going.
Hey, what are you doing with that?
I always carry a gun in the desert. There's coyotes around a camp.
Put it away. We're not playing cowboy.
You know there's mountain lions around here too.
Well, they won't come near a fire, I know that much. And I'm not going to have you take a shot if something turns out to be Dad.
Okay. I'll put her away in one condition, that you crawl in and get some rest.
Okay.
Music warning. Music warning.
If I had 1,000 paintings in a marble gallery, every single picture would be a Valerie. Vitamins are good, they say, and so's a calorie. But I'd feel like a tiger on one kiss from Valerie. I couldn't stand tomorrow, and they can have today. If someone took my
Is he just not able to remember Roxy's name?
If I had $1 billion and a banker's salary, I'd spend it all on flowers to give to Valerie.
Now, who's Valerie?
Well, now, wouldn't you like to know?
Tom,
Yeah.
do you suppose Dad found the giant? Or the giant found him?
Nah. Giant probably lives way up in the mountain. Your dad wasn't going that far.
I guess not.
Oh, it's my transistor. Something's wrong with it.
No kidding.
Yeah, sometimes a bump starts it off and you gotta hit it again to stop it. Oh, I must have bumped it again.
You must have. Hey, have you been at this? We were saving for Dad.
What?
The stew.
I didn't touch it.
Well, I sure didn't. And look at... What'd you do that for?
Listen, if he comes back for that club, we don't want to be anywhere around here.
It's Dad's camera.
Are you sure it is?
Well, I borrowed it enough. Look at the way it's smashed.
Well, he could have dropped it.
Well, then why didn't he pick it up?
Well, it's broken. It's no good to him.
Oh, well, it's also insured. Let's not kid ourselves.
Let's not jump to conclusions either. Come on, let's try that extra V. Go! One way or the other, what do you think?
I don't know.
Well, I'll climb up there ways and see if the buggy can get through. No, you better stay here.
No.
There's no use in both of us going. We gotta come back for the buggy anyway.
Well, then we'll come back. I'm not going to sit here doing nothing.
Oh, women. Look, you stay here with the buggy
Nope.
and drive it up to meet me when I give you the signal. That'll save us both a trip. Come on.
Well, okay.
Ah, the gun. Toss it. Give me a blast in that horn if you see anything.
Don't worry about that.
Watch out for snakes. Why did it always have to be stock footage snakes?
Roxy! 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 Roxy, where are you?
Welcome to Bronson Canyon, easily accessible in Los Angeles.
Roxy. Roxy. Roxy? Roxy!
Oh, Dad!
Oh,
Oh, are you hurt?
I think my collarbone's broken.
Here, let me help you.
How did you get here?
Well, we came looking for you, and we were both so worried that we didn't know what to do.
No. She's mine. She's mine.
He understands you.
We got a beautiful friendship going. Take it easy.
Dad!
Don't do anything to scare him.
Me scare him?
Smile. Smile. He likes your perfume.
Smell all you want. Go ahead.
What became of the others?
What others?
Keep smiling. You didn't come out here alone, did you?
No. Tom's with me. I mean, he's out there
Hold
someplace.
still. He's just curious. Hold still.
It's real, see?
Looking.
What's he doing?
Looking for lice, I believe.
Really?
Careful, honey. Take it easy. You won't hurt you.
She hurt you.
He's looking for bees in the beehive.
Myself when I fell on the camera.
Dad, I think you better break this up before I scream.
Tell him you're hungry.
I'm not.
Well, think of the alternative.
I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, hungry. What are those?
Those are his relatives.
They're dead.
Yes, apparently for some time. Eegah,
Come on, Dad. Let's make a run for it.
Yeah, it won't work. The entrance is blocked.
Oh, what are we going to do?
I don't know. But we'll think it's coming. He's telling his family all about you. He told them about me last night.
Think how lonely he must be.
I know whatever he is, he's a human being.
What'll I do?
It'll be all right. Play it by ear. Don't upset him. He's telling them he has guests for dinner.
How do you do?
Well, that one looked like a very important ancestor. Shake hands with him, Roxy.
Oh, Dad. Oh, pleased to meet you. Does he know they're dead?
I think so. He just can't make himself accept it.
I'm not having any trouble. And how are you feeling today? Oh, that's fine.
Thank goodness for all this stock footage. It really pads out the running time.
I can't eat any more of this.
Fake it.
That's what I've been doing. Now I'm getting sick.
Eegah.
Is that his name?
It might be that's the word he says most of the time. Eegah.
Oh, Dad, no.
That's all I need now is a good drink of sulfur water. Ooh, I don't see how anybody could drink that horrible stuff. I guess it can't hurt me.
Make it last as long as you can. It won't hurt you if you're doing something.
A prehistoric gentleman, huh? Thank you. Well, here's to you. Ugh, this water doesn't make you strong. You have to be strong to drink in the first place. No, I'm still thirsty. Thank you. That's
What is it?
Believe it or not, Dad, I'm going to look at his etchings. Oh, this is nice. No. This is nice. Let's see what you mean. Dad,
What is it?
look at this drawing. It's me in my car. This one is me.
Roxy! Roxy!
If Eegah makes me drink any more of this sulfur water, I'll die.
We've got to keep him busy.
I know.
And it's not so bad, as a matter of fact. A little bitter. But it seems to have a certain quality that's good for you. I would be a bit surprised if the sulfur in these walls isn't what's kept these giants alive all these years.
You mean these giants have always been here?
Where have you seen those before?
In that cave in France.
Exactly.
Sure.
Same style, same everything. Definitely prehistoric. Yes, I'd say that he and his tribe have always been here.
Are there others?
No, he's the last one.
How can you be sure?
I took a good look at his family. From the condition of the shrouds, I'd say the last one died 50, 100 years ago.
How old does that make him?
I would be wrong to guess. Here it comes.
No.
Did those two lizards just do it?
See?
Oh, it's you, Dad.
Go see if the rock's in place. He's gone. Now's our chance.
It's there. What are we going to do? What can I do?
Help me back. I gotta sit down. No. Don't touch it.
It's got to be tied up or something, doesn't it?
There's some aspirin in my gear bag.
I don't see it.
He brought it here. It must be around someplace. Keep looking. You probably hid it somewhere.
Oh, here it is.
The aspirin's in that small pocket. Give me 2.
Drink a lot of water. It'll give you strength.
It won't knit bones, honey.
It's got to be tied up or something, doesn't it?
No, it feels pretty good now.
Liar.
That's no way to talk to your father.
The trouble with you is it spoiled you.
You sure did.
So these two are father and daughter, correct?
What can I do?
I'm having a hard time believing that.
Nothing.
Seems a
I'll just
little
sit.
close.
How about if I washed your face? Or gave you a shave? It'll make you feel better. You've got all your junk here.
Okay. Shave down. Look, before he has a chance to block the entrance, I'll get his attention. You run out.
Leave you?
Do as I tell you.
Not this time, Dad.
You were lucky last night. He's had time to think about you.
I'm not going to leave you to get your head bashed in. My father didn't raise me that way. He brought me flowers.
We've got to get his mind on something else. Make a production out of it, Tate. Come, whistle. Come on. Bring keep busy. Here he comes. He's interested. He almost forgot to shut the door.
Well, that doesn't say much for my sex appeal. You're running out of whiskers. Now I suppose he wants a shave.
Good, give it to him.
Anything to please the customer.
Try these. Here. There.
Where are you? Roxy!
Okay, this is so gross. It's 50 shaves of Eegah. Let's get our whipped cream out. This is the right time.
Better watch him with that shaving balm.
Roxy! Roxy!
You did a better job of shaving him, Roxy. There's no way of telling how that fellow is.
You're handsome. Rude.
I warn you, Roxy, don't upset him.
Tell me some more about your etchings. You like the pretty smell? Here, this is loaded with perfume. I'm gonna try and get him to move the rock. These smell pretty too. Where did you get them? Out there? Yes, I really think we should put them in water. I guess you're right. There are plenty more out there. Here, look at this. Look. See? Take it. I'll bet you haven't seen anything like that before. Don't you think it's pretty? Do you like it? Oh.
Give him something else.
Oh. What? I haven't found anything else. Wait. That was a mistake. Don't get the idea I don't like you. My father. Oh. No! No! Oh, Eegah. Outside. You and me. Outside.
No, save yourself.
Alfie, you're so busy, don't forget to go.
Once you're outside, run.
Come on. Outside.
Chicha. Chicha.
Oh.
Eegah wants to audition for Project Runway.
Beloved. Chill out.
Why don't you try singing, Tom?
Get after them.
The dune buggy, just down the canyon.
I can do it. Go on.
Tom!
Cool it, Rocky. Everything's all right.
Dad!
He's okay. He's waiting for us.
Bye, kids.
Dad!
Run, kids, run. It won't start.
Let me. Hurry!
What's wrong with it?
I rigged it so nobody could steal it.
Out here?
Get in.
Which way?
That way.
Everybody okay?
Honey?
Just fine, Dad.
Wowee, there he is. So long, High Pockets.
Bye. Love you. Bye.
Look here.
Smell like teen spirit. We have just witnessed primitive man's first spit take, and thus comedy was born.
George, you're drunk. Give me the keys to the car.
No, baby, I just had one. That's all. Just one, baby. That's all. I've just had one.
One bottle.
Hey, baby.
You've had enough.
Well, don't say you when I've had enough. You do me a great injustice. The keys. I've had enough.
Eegah Rent. Mannequin, starring Kim Cattrall. Nothing gonna stop us now.
Roxy!
I'm ready, Dad.
Well, I'm not. You're gonna have to help me. I can't manage the tie.
Here, I'll do it. Does it have to be this one?
Young lady, that happens to be one of my favorite ties.
But the color.
You gave it to me 4 years ago.
Oh, why, it's lovely. Are you sure you're feeling well enough to go out tonight?
Honey, we've got to go out.
Well, it's not anything special. It's just a party.
Your whole gang will be there.
Yeah.
You can't avoid them forever.
No.
Some of them laugh a little.
Well, if I know Agnes Henderson, she'll laugh a lot. What'll happen to him?
I don't know, but I'm certain we're doing the right thing. If we were to reveal that a giant actually exists, there'd be a whole army out there tracking him down like an animal.
No, they wouldn't. We wouldn't let them.
Honey, he's from another age, another eon. Come in.
Hello, Mr. Miller.
Hello, Tom.
Wowdy, wow, wow. You sure look swell, Roxy.
Thank you. I'll only be a minute.
Is something wrong, Mr. Miller?
We're just talking about our little adventure.
Oh, I see.
You do?
Well, sure. A girl like Roxy don't get over a thing like that right away.
Doesn't.
That's what I say. She's got to get her mind off it. And this hop tonight'll help.
Hop?
Yeah, my combo's gonna be there. Man, they swing.
So I understand.
I'm ready.
Well, let's split then. Mr. Miller, I got my dad's wheels tonight.
Really? Do they fit on your car?
You're funny, Mr. Miller. Real funny.
Grrr.
What are you doing here? Call the police! Police!
talk plainer than that. We got Mr. Fishman. He's for real. What did he say?
He's real.
Of course, he's real. Hurry, quick, call the police. There's a lot of giants here.
Go! Bungo!
3900 block. Large man or giant creating disturbance. Proceed with
At the old rock house on the Brownsville Road, the crazy things happen according to the code. You turn to the left at the sign of the toe to the empty old house on the Brownsville Road. The old rock house on the Brownsville Road. Crazy things happen according to the code. The code of the ghost, that's the sign of the toad. Nobody lives on the Brownsville Road. Oh, they're screaming this way and they bring in the dead. And the weird sound make you shiver. They dance and they sing through the wild spring, and the noise goes down to the river. You see, nobody lives on the Brownsville Road. They grin and they rave of the cold, cold grave, and they do the razzle-attack. Their neck bones click as they swing the kicks. I rock onto the Brownsville Jazz. At the old rock house on the Brownsville Road.
I don't blame you in the least.
Oh, you did.
Son of a toad. Nobody lives on the Brownsville Road. Like nobody lives there. Dig?
No, I don't. I agree with you 100%. But perhaps we should be a little more discreet about it.
What on earth are you talking about?
Getting as far away as possible from that music, it's a good idea, but we're guests here.
No, the music's wonderful. I
That's
could
the
listen to
smartest
Tom
thing
sing
he
by
said
the
all
hour.
movie outside of
Yeah.
Watch Out for Snakes.
I just wanted some fresh air, that's all.
Is it, honey?
No. Dad, I've got the funniest feeling.
What is it?
I can't describe it, but I just know something's happened to him.
Him?
Eegah, the giant, or whatever he is. Something's happened to him.
Roxy, look at me. I love you very much. You're more like your mother every day. Every living thing was her personal concern, and she worried about me.
That's just it, Dad. But just see, worry isn't the feeling that I have. I don't know what it is. He's a creature. Well, you just have to look at him to see that. He even tried to kill us. But yet...
You can't get him out of your mind. That's my job for about 2 more years. If I can hold on to you that long. Then it'll be up to somebody else. Maybe him, huh?
Hey! Where you been? I was belting out a tune just for you in there. I look up and you're gone.
We can hear every word, Tom. I said here. Now understand.
You're funny, Mr. Miller. Really funny. Come on, Roxy, let's dance.
Yeah, real funny.
I thought I heard sirens.
Oh, that's Dino's sax. It leaks.
No, mister. Don't. Hurry! Look out! Don't you tie!
If I didn't know they were dancing, I'd swear this was a fight. What? I say it looks like a fight. My boy is a good dancer.
I'm gonna get you. Knock it off. She's my girl. I'm gonna smack. Take the fruit. Let's all get him. Come on, guys.
Eegah! Eegah! Oh, no, Eegah!
Let's go.
No!
There he is. Hold her on fire.
Don't shoot! He doesn't understand!
Somebody get a very big pool skimmer, quick!
Poor devil.
Remember, I love you.
Where did he come from?
Is he real?
Who is he?
Yes, he was real. It says so in the book of Genesis. There were giants in the earth in those days. Chapter 4, verse 32.
Well, there you have it. Eegah! There were giants in those days. I don't think that was the correct biblical quote, but don't quote me on that. So thank you for joining us tonight at Eegah. We had a great time. Please go to the Loft website, see the ways that you can support us during our closure. Also, why don't you subscribe to our YouTube channel? It's great. You will thank yourself. And watch out for snakes. We're coming back next month with Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, because what better time to celebrate Christmas than in June when it's 150 degrees in Tucson? It's going to be great. Thank you and good night. Now, get off your couch. We're going to Eegah twist our way out of here, out of this place. Let's do it. And thank you to Ben and Haley for helping.